Bismarck's victory over France during the Franco-Prussian War created problems for Europe. Inside Germany, Kaiser Wilhelm and Bismarck controlled power and did not support liberal reforms. Although there was a parliament, the king could dissolve it or force the prime minister to resign. Therefore, the German parliament, or Reichstag, did not have very much influence. The Kaiser issued the Declaration of Papal Infallibility of 1871. 60% of the Germans were Northern Protestants. Bismarck attacked the Catholic Church and forced the government to be more involved in its affairs. For instance, all marriages had to be performed by government officials. Any independent priests were not allowed to perform this rite. This pleased the Protestants, but also hurt liberalization because freedom of religion was truly not allowed. The rise of industrialization in Germany brought the rise of a new political party, the Social Democrats, based on radicals demanding better working conditions. Rather than fearing strikes by these radicals, Bismarck pushed through socialist proposals for disability, unemployment, and old age pensions. Although this would be Germany's largest political party, the growth of income in Germany's expanding empire inspired the socialists to be content with their progress and not to sponsor a revolution. So Bismarck played on German nationalism. Regarding Russia, Nicholas I died while the Crimean War raged, and his son Alexander II, who ruled from 1855 to 1881, took over. Alexander immediately faced problems from a defeated army and poor finances. Rather than cracking down on his opponents, Alexander began serious reforms. In 1861, he emancipated the serfs and allowed them to gain land from the nobility. However, they did not own it privately. Instead, their villages practiced a communal system. For urban dwellers, new political and judicial rights, including trial by jury, were introduced. Alexander tried to reform the economy by developing close ties with the French. French investors helped in building railroads, connecting Moscow with its vast empire. Russian wheat was sold to Western European capitals. The Trans-Siberian Railroad was not completed during this period, but some sections from Moscow to southern Russia were constructed. Alexander II did not go full throttle with liberal reforms, and instead kept tight controls on government censorship. Anarchists assassinated Alexander II, and his son Alexander III gained power. Alexander III quickly clamped down on all political opponents and sought to industrialize Russia. In 1891, Alexander III ordered his finance minister Sergei Witte the completion of the Trans-Siberian Railroad. The railroad would bring vast amounts of Siberian coal and iron to Moscow. The state then would begin large industrial plants in St. Petersburg and Moscow. Alexander died of natural causes in 1894, and his young son, Nicholas II, became the new Tsar. The process of forced industrialization transformed Russian society. Railroads brought more communication with the more liberal Western Europe. The 1905 Russo-Japanese War caused the biggest jolt to the Tsar's autocratic rule. China was being carved up by the great powers of Europe. Japan was ascending as a new power, and Russia tried to temper its gains. However, Japan's navy defeated the Russians. The nobility forced Nicholas II to make concessions, and the Imperial Duma, or Russia's parliament, was formed. The former serfs now could own land privately. This individualism promoted more capitalism and private profit. The economy, unshackled by government control, began to grow. However, Russia was a vast empire, over 1/6 of the total landmass of Earth. How can a decrepit government control an uneducated populace over such a large expanse of territory? How would it fare against Germany in World War I?